Hey, my name is Bonimonton and I am this IT student from the Oriental State University. And today I'll be presenting my Laboratory 5 project for ITPE 132. In this video, I'll demonstrate on how I create a RESTful API with complete CRUD operation using Node.js and uh, MySQL. Now, in this presentation, I'll walk I walk you through every step of this API. Building this API from setting up the database to testing our endpoints. So let's begin. Project our project overview. Our I have here some presentation PowerPoint. So the RESTful API project overview. So the definition, RESTful API is a web service that adhere to REST principles, allowing an efficient interaction using standard HTTP method, fostering seamless data exchange and integration between systems. Now I have three technology stack. I am using the framework, the Node.js. Now this Node.js it enables faster server side development. Now the middleware I'm using is the Express.js. It simplifies routing and API creation. Now my database is I am using MySQL. It manages data with structured queries. The database setup, MySQL database setup, setting up the MySQL database involve creating the Node API DB database, establishing the user table to store essential user information, ensuring efficient data management for our API. So, this is my database. Showing this tool name, the Alice Smith and Alice Smith. We have the same but different ID and created at different time for creation. And yeah, so next is uh, API implementation. The RESTful endpoint overview is the user get. Now the get is the endpoint. Retrieve a list of all users from the database, providing essential information such as name and emails um, to facilitate user management and integration. Now the get user ID. Now the get user ID endpoint allow client to fetch a specific user's details using their unique ID, ensuring precise data retrieval for personalization, user interaction, and operations. Now, the post user endpoint enables the creation of a new user by accepting their name and emails, ensuring input validation to maintain data integrity, and enhance the user experience. So, um, the input validation. Now the post user handler implements crucial input validation to guarantee accurate data submission by verifying that both name and email are present, enhancing overall API uh, robustness. Now the testing with Thunder client. So before we test our Thunder client, we have I'll show you some uh CRUD micro operation on the my visual code. Um, have here API implementation. Have the index.js. So in this, um, we'll see the get all users. It it uses all select all from user here, and it returns the JSON array for all users. Now, um, next is the post user, which means the um, accurate. Um, Here is to get user by ID. Okay. Um, it validate name, email, input, uses insert into user, and it returns newly created user. Okay, here. So this is the uh post post users. It validate name and email input, uses insert into users, and now it returns the newly created user. Now let's proceed to the put a user ID, the update user. Now the update user is it updates existing user data. It uses update user set, and it returns updated user info. This is the whole uh, grid. Lastly, the delete. Now the delete is of course to remove user by ID, and also it uses delete from all users, uh, from users, and it returns SAS message says the user deleted successfully, and if it if the error occurs, it will print out the database error. So I think that's the API implementation. So let's proceed to the our testing with Thunder client. So this is what I'm using. This the existing. Before we proceed, let's first know if our database is connected and our server is running. To do that, we have to type the cd command, and then the file path of the laboratory 5, and then nodejs-rest API, which is the file directory of this file. So, and hit enter. And next, we type the npm start to uh, to determine whether the database connection is okay or and the server running is okay. So as we can see here, the database is connecting. No, connection is okay, and the server running at this local we call this local host, and then the server address would be this one. So after finding out the um, database connection is okay, now let's test the our Thunder client. First, we have to uh, remember um, this local host. This would be our uh, main. So on our first demonstration, let's type our local host. So earlier I have said that to remember the local host in the terminal. So this is it. First, we have to get all user. Say um, method get, and then set method our URL. This one user, and click this send button. This you can see here the out response receive the Alice to Alice. For example, we have Alice Smith and Alice Smith also, but has a two. It has a different ID. The Alice Smith, and then the ID number 9, and then the ID number 10 is also named Alice Smith. So after the get method, next we proceed to the post method. Let's select the method and then um, localhost, then type the header, then content type. Let's put content type and the application version, and then the body. At the body, um, let's say we create a Charlie. Let's yeah, Charlie, and Charlie that example. This is the ML, and then the Charlie. So the status is 101 created, and it has an ID 11. So in this response, we should remember the ID because if we if we update if we update later the here the localhost user, you should type the backslash and then the number of the user, which is the Charlie, and it has a user ID with 11. So that would be the uh, code if ever you want to update the Charlie name. So later I will show you the um, process on it. So we're done on the create user. Now let's proceed on the what the um what I've said earlier, the update. So um you can see here our database since earlier I've created the Charlie 11 and the ID 11 and then the Charlie example and then the created at. So that means that we um created that. So this is our database, which it has a three name, the Charlie, which we created earlier in the Thunder client. It has a ID 11 and Charlie at example.com, the email address. Um, the created at create at. So that means our database is connected to the one. So after the created, uh, let's proceed on um, so after we created Charlie, now we update um, Alice. So as what I've said earlier to remember the ID. So let's type in. We want to update number. Um, we want to update number 9, the Alice Smith. Actually, there are two Alice Smith in that, but um, I want to update the Alice Smith username ID number 9 to demonstrate the update in Thunder client. So let's put user number 9 and then the body um, say the then that somebody phone. Let's try if it works. Yeah. The method I forgot to change the method to put. Now let's try again. So the status is 200, which means it is okay and successful. And now let's proceed. Let's see in on the on our database. So as we can see here, the Alice Smith has been updated to Dave and Dave at example.gmail.com at example.com. The ID is number 9 and created at uh, 25, 11, 10, and add 21, 28, and then so on. So that would be the code user. How about our last code part of the code, which is the delete user? Now in our on our database, um, we want now to delete the Charlie, the number user number ID 11, and then Charlie name, and then the email is Charlie example. So we wanted it to delete using Thunder client. To do that, we have to go to our VS code, um, and then the Thunder client, and now um, request. The user of the ID of Charlie is number 9. I, the user would be number 11. And put together and content type. Also a application JSON. Now to change the title to delete and execute send. So status is okay, means it successfully, and it return message your user is deleted successfully. Now let's see in on our database. As you can see here, Charlie has been deleted successfully. The remaining data would be Dave and Alice Smith, and would be all for the implementation on um, test. No, that would be all the testing with Thunder client. I think that would be all for the demonstration. Now, in conclusion, um, in conclusion, um, our in this in the video, we set up a robust MySQL database. It we also created a Node.js API with Express, and we also implemented a secure database connection. Also built in complete CRUD functionality, and lastly, the successful tested on all endpoints. Now, this project demonstrates on how modern web API connection, front-end application with database. The skill learned here are fundamental to full stack development. So that would be all. Thank you for your attention. And are there any question about the implementation or the technology used, additional implementation, details, and so on? So you can leave it in the comment and have a nice day.